Welcome back to the Cat Knit Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, March 30th. Day, I don't know what, of staying at home. To flatten the curve. And always washing our hands. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats. Most importantly, knitting, because that is what I'm doing every day. All the time. And I love it. And I'm getting a lot done. Yes. And I'm reading quite a lot, which is nice. And I'm baking and I'm loving on my cat. So it's all good things. All good things, you know. He is not with me today. He was with me last week, and so I was sitting very uncomfortably. But today I get to enjoy and lounge back in his chair, and it's quite wonderful. He has made his little bed on the couch out in the living room. Anyway, not part of the intro. If you would like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there. Also show notes, so if you like to see any of the things that I talk about, keep hitting the armchair arm thing. I won't do that. I don't know what that sounds like. Show notes, links, things that I talk about. I work at a yarn store that is currently closed because of things and the situation of the world. But we do have an online store, so please go check us out. Please shop local if you can. Bookstores, yarn dyers, boutiques, literally anything that you can think of that's local, restaurants. Support everybody that you can because it is such a hard time for everybody. But yeah, all that stuff will be in the show notes. So if you want to check us out, please do. Please do. What was I going to say? I don't remember. I'm wearing a finished object. I have another finished object. I've done quite a lot of knitting. I have more to talk about this week, which is very good. I feel more accomplished. You know us, you do. I have coffee today because everyone slowly, I don't know, however 3 weeks it is at this point, finally getting back to some kind of routine that's similar to what we're used to. So got up at 7:30, 7:45 this morning, worked out immediately, didn't procrastinate, took a shower, started the laundry. This is not part of the intro, but I did all that, and so I have coffee. So if you like to have something tasty to drink, yes, this is where I'm at this morning, so this will be a fun podcast. If you like to grab something tasty to drink, or something to snack upon, an animal to snuggle, something to craft upon, or all of the above, or laundry to fold, of course. And you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So yes, going back to my little ranting thing just a minute ago, I worked out early this morning. I've been working out on our balcony, which is pretty nice. This morning the weather was just beautiful. It was cool. I think it was like 67. And it was raining, and there was a cool breeze, and it was just so invigorating, and I loved it so much. So I did that, and then I made my coffee. Actually, no, I took a shower first, because I'm sure you're interested in my play-by-play of my day so far on Monday, and you're not even going to watch this on Monday. Hopefully, the plan is to also do the same thing on Wednesday morning, which is when you will have watched this, so I don't know. We'll wait and see. I don't know if that'll happen. So, yes, normally I wouldn't have coffee in the morning if I had been working out or if I was going to work out, because coffee and me jumping around just does not mix. But no, I worked out, had my coffee, had one of my sourdough bagels that I made. So good. I need to figure out what is this week's sourdough endeavor, because 2 weeks ago I did English muffins. Last week I did bagels. Do I do another round of bagels? Because I really love the bagels. They were so easy. I was very, I do apologize. I know this is a knitting podcast, but we're just going to talk about sourdough bagels for a moment because I am in love with them. Also, the way that I'm sitting in this chair, I know you can't see it, but I feel like I'm like on a talk show, and I'm just like, I've got my legs crossed, and I'm just like, hello, let's chat this morning, shall we? Maybe I need to pull out some knitting. Let's do that. How about that? We'll have a very chill vibe going on. But we'll move this out of the way. I'm gonna work on one of my test knits, which I've had so much progress on, and I'm so excited. You guys will be astounded at my progress. But we're not going to talk about that right now because we're talking about my bagels. So, yes, bagels. I don't know why I've always been like intimidated by bagels. I think it's the fact that there's like a 2-step process in the finishing. Like, you have to boil them first and then you have to bake them, and I didn't know how that was gonna go because, like, how am I supposed to know if they've been boiled long enough and blah 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 blah. It was very apparent, super easy. Pop them in the oven. They browned up beautifully. It was incredible, and they're amazing. And we have like 2 left, and I made 8 of them, I think it came out to. I need to fix the size of them. I think I hadn't like pressed out my dough flat enough, and so the bagels were really big, and although big bagels are never a bad thing, but it would help to fit in the toaster better if they were a little smaller, you know? Anyway, greatly enjoyed that. I do want to try scones. I think scones would be nice. A friend gave me her sourdough scone recipe, and there might actually be a scone recipe in the sourdough book I've been using. Excuse me. So, yes, that is what happened last week with my sourdough. So now we've discussed baking. I kind of also, oh my, sorry, we're just all over the place this morning. Instagram. I was on Instagram, just scrolling, because that's all we're doing this time, because we're all on our phones. I saw a picture from a food blogger recipe person that I follow, and I've made quite a bit of her recipes. She has a recipe for cookie brittle, like peanut butter brittle, or peanut brittle, or whatever it's called. But it's cookies. So you make like cookie dough, and you make it like brittle. And both Sam and I are on the crispy cookie side of things. We do love a good crispy cookie, and that sounds like so much fun. So I might give that a try. I don't know if that'll happen today or tomorrow or whatever. Who knows if you're watching it or when you watch this on Wednesday. If you watch this on Wednesday, you don't have to watch this when it comes out. But whenever you watch this, there might be a picture of them on my Instagram. So to find out if I did it, you can hop over to my Instagram. So yeah, that's exciting. More baking. We're just going out of order here because I'm enjoying sitting and knitting and just chatting with you. How are you guys? Are you staying calm and staying sane and staying inside? Washing your hands at every given chance if you do go outside, and staying away from people and all that jazz. I don't know. Again, like, yes, introverts are totally fine. they may be starting to get a little stir crazy, and that's just totally normal. And yes, but the extroverts are like, I need people. I need to be around people. So, because I definitely get my energy from being with people, which is wonderful that I have a job at a yarn store, because I'm around people all the time, and I love that, and that works really well for me as an extrovert. And yes, I do know that there's like this whole 9s can't be extroverts, but yes, we can, because I'm a 9 and I'm an extrovert, and I just don't like being at the center of attention. I don't have to be talking all the time, but I get energy from being with people. So being by ourselves, though I love my husband very dearly, I am losing the people energy, and it's very sad. So that's the thing. I don't know about you, but I have been enjoying the amount of time of knitting that I've been able to get done. Let's focus on the positives. A lot of knitting time, a lot of reading time, a lot of audiobook time. I am very grateful that I figured out a good workout plan, and I'm grateful that I can do that on our balcony so I can get some fresh air. I am grateful for being able to relatively keep a good schedule. I am grateful that we have a nice apartment and that we're healthy and that we are able to get food if we need it. I'm grateful that we have plenty of toilet paper for the time being. I'm grateful for technology, so we can talk to friends and see friends and family. I'm grateful for my sourdough starter. You know, it's the things. Sam is on the phone. I don't know who he's talking to. I'm assuming it's a work phone call. I don't know that. Anyway, also, side note, we are probably going to do a podcast together at some point soon. I don't know when exactly that is going to be. It probably will be next week. I don't know. But if you would like to have him answer any questions, knitting related or otherwise, please let me know, and I will put together a list of funny questions that we can discuss, because that was really fun last time we did that. And I saw that the Diane Suburban Stitcher, she did a live YouTube stream thing with her husband as well. I have not seen it yet, but I really enjoyed theirs. Theirs was our inspiration when we did it last time, so that is very exciting. So yeah, of course, let us know if there's any questions that you want Sam to answer, or for me to answer for that matter. And yeah, we'll have fun recording it next week, probably. But who knows what will happen between now and next week, because no one knows what's going to happen day to day, really, at this point. It's very gloomy, but I really like it when it's gloomy. Like, I really enjoy when it's very cloudy and rainy. So, I'm not complaining. I do enjoy the sun, but I also am just really enjoying the rainy rain. Book-wise, I have really been loving Scribd. If you don't know what that is, it's like Kindle Unlimited. So it's like a Amazon Audible type thing that you have access to everything. You can check it out whenever if it's available. There's no wait lists. Some things are not always available to you, but that's just because they're rotating through titles. It's not because they don't have enough files to give out to people or whatever. And currently, this is a paid-for subscription, but you can get like a 30-day free trial. Normally you would have to have some kind of commitment and put in like a credit card number or something like that. But currently they're doing a 30-day free, no strings attached to anything trial. So if you want to go sign up for that, it's super easy. I would highly recommend it if you like ebooks and audiobooks, which is what I'm living for right now. I would highly recommend it, and their database and their choice or selection list is quite incredible. So would highly recommend that if you're into those things. They definitely make the day go by faster. Not that we want that necessarily, but it's just a little bit like, I can do all my chores and feel a little bit better about myself and whatever if I'm distracted by an audiobook. So, knitting-wise, we've talked about all the other things, so now let's actually talk about the knitting, shall we? Knitting-wise, I've been very successful. I'm currently wearing my Free Your Fade, which I finished last week. I'd planned on making tassels, and now I'm not super sure if I want to. I know that I have said recently that you have to, like, why wouldn't you add tassels to everything? But I don't know. Also, I haven't actually, like, trimmed my ends yet, but that's okay. This is Dye for Knitting yarn. This was my birthday cast on. Free Your Fade is by Andrea Mowry. I love knitting it. I would knit another one in a heartbeat for sure. For sure. Yes. I also finished my somber shawl. I'm not going to put down my knitting. My somber shawl by Sylvia McFadden. This has not been blocked yet. And I think I'm going to hold it upside down. There we go. Doo 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 doo. So yes, I played a little bit of yarn chicken with this. I knew it would be close when I got the yarn. This is how much black I had left. So I definitely had enough. Like, it wasn't too terribly close, but it was like, I don't know if I can do all the repeats that I need to do. I'll just stop it here. I think I just cut out like 1 or 2 repeats, which was literally like 2 or 4 rows. So it's not the end of the world. But I just wanted to make sure I had enough yarn. But this is Amanda Hope yarn in the Spring Fling colorway, which is the bright, happy, neon-y and charcoal, on her Aussie Extra Fine Merino base. It's a single. It is so soft. It literally feels like butter. It's amazing. And yeah, I just need to block it at this point. I'm not sure how I'm going to block it. I could like spray it and lay it out, or I could like dunk it really quickly and pray that the colors don't run into each other. Because I do want it to grow a little bit more. Like, it's a nice size, but I want it to be a little bit bigger. So I don't know. I really enjoyed making this though. This was a fun thing to knit. It's got a very interesting shape. Again, I'm holding it upside down. It's like not, I don't know how to describe it, but I really enjoyed knitting it for sure. Kind of hard to see as well because the doesn't fit on screen. And yes, you're probably like, wow, that's really big already. Why do you want it any bigger? It's like, I don't know. I'd like it a little bit bigger. I think I'd like it longer. I think that's what I want. Because it's, to wrap it around like what I have on would make the ends pretty short on either side. So I just wanted it to be a little bit longer. Unsure how I'm going to block it, but we'll figure that out soon. So, in other news, since that was kind of, the somber shawl was definitely a languishing whip. That got done. That's awesome. The next project that I knit like 4 rows on, but I'm still going to show it to you because it's going to enter my rotation, is my powder and dust shawl, and of course I'm in the middle of a row. Oh, but I'm just to the end, so let's finish this really quick. Everything is so tangled. This is my powder and dust shawl by Vera Val Mackey. I am knitting this as a knit along with a friend from the yarn store. Her name is Andrea. I'm very excited about this. It's basically a massive triangular shawl with its 3 colors. Got some fun little lace bits that Vera describes as little cat paw prints, which if you're new to the podcast, I am all about cats. And so the fact that they're described as cat paw prints is just right up my alley. It's all garter stitch, stripes. It's awesome. Yeah, I moved my stitch marker, my progress keeper, and I've literally done 4 rows. So this is what I have so far. So I've done the first color section, the first lace section, and now I'm striping the 2 together. Here's what the lace looks like. You can kind of see that. There we go. So in the pattern, there are instructions of like how to use up as much yarn as possible in your striping sections. I have not followed that because I don't particularly care about having yarn left over. I will be using it in other things like Stephen West shawls and using it for color work and all that jazz. So I'm not too worried. You do a certain amount of stuff like this before you, or a certain amount of garter stuff before you do the lace, and so I'm just taking that and dividing it in half and doing half of it as stripes and half of it as a solid. That is my plan. If you were curious how I was going to do that, if you have done this shawl before, or if you are thinking about doing it, I am quite loving this. This first color is Life in the Long Grass. My second color is Fancy a Butterbeer from Sugar Plum Circus, which is quite wonderful. And then, excuse me, my throat is just so cloggy today. Probably because I was outside. My third color is Chestnut from Pepla Fields. Peepaloo. I just can't say this name. I know she's not dyeing yarn anymore, which is very sad, but this is the chestnut colorway. I got this for Christmas. So I'm super excited about this. Yeah, very mindless. This will be my next mindless languishing whip, I think. I don't think this is quite languishing. I should probably look this up when I started this. So I can say if it's a languishing whip or not. Let's do that right now. Okay. Because we always have Ravelry open. Boo-doo-doo. Yeah, so are you working on languishing whips, or are you just casting on all the things? Because I go between the 2 of them. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just gonna finish literally everything. I don't want to do anything else. And other times I'm like, I need to cast on everything. Powder and Dust was started January 9th, so this is definitely not a languishing whip, but that's okay. We will continue to work on it, and that's good. So, next up, that is truly a languishing whip. Also, we're gonna have a little ranting and raving moment, shall we? I have my big Fortnum & Mason project bag because it's holding all the bits and pieces. So I love a good mindless knit. I will be the first to tell you, mindless knits are so important. They are so soothing, especially in times like these where you can just sit and knit and go and you don't have to think about it. Especially because then you can do things like FaceTime with people easily, you can chat with people, you can listen to audiobooks and podcasts, you can watch movies, whatever, you can read, all that jazz. Super easy to multitask. I have been doing so many mindless, or I have so many mindless projects right now, or things that are currently in mindless stages, that I needed a little brain knitting exercise, knitting brain exercise. I needed to stretch my knitting muscles and I needed to do something that for me required more focus. Because also that was helping to distract from all the craziness going on. It was really nice to just kind of like, okay, I'm going to turn on my YouTube playlist of things that I've saved to watch and just have never gotten around to. I'm gonna let that play, enjoy it, but also I'm going to focus on my stitch count, I'm gonna focus on what I'm doing, I'm going to do all this brioche and I'm going to love it, and I'm gonna play with color and it's gonna be awesome. But it does require more brain power. And this one, let me look up when I cast this guy on, because this was quite a while ago. This is my Rain Falls by Leslie Ann Robinson. Yeah, I cast this on July 27th, 2019. So yeah, this is definitely a languishing whip. I am loving this. I'm loving this. I got so much done last night. Probably because my rows are so small right now, or so short right now. I also was able to throw in some other little bits and pieces that fit well with this color palette from recently finished items, like my Free Your Fade and my Somber Shawl, and it's just like, yes, I can do all this. So far, look how happy that is. Also, like, these colors together have brought me so much joy. Like, I sound super cheesy, but, and I say this all the time, but literally as I was knitting these two colors together, I just kept smiling because it looks so happy and it looks so like summery and like super tropical and just really happy and joyful and fun and pizzazzy, and I was like, this is what I wanted. This is what I need in my project right now. It's making my brain work and the colors are just so good. And then we can throw on top of the fact that this is based off of, it was designed during Harvey, which, living in Houston, that is a huge, very big thing that happened to Houston. We were not living here at the time, but our families are, or they were, they still are. We're now living here. Houston is very special to both of us. And I really wanted to knit this shawl. So this is what I have so far. This is my main color side, and this is my contrasting color side. But like, I don't know if you can be able to see this because it's so bright, but like this section in here, this is the Spring Fling from Amanda Hope Yarn. And then on the other side is just like, it's just so amazing. And in fact, I dyed this color. I dyed this when we were living in Dallas, and I just can't believe how well they go together. Like, I wish you could see this better. I'll have to post a picture on Instagram, but like, it just brings me so much joy. So much joy. And in fact, I wanted to finish that color, so I've used up all of that color now. Which is sad, but I'm glad that I have this little section that I can be like, I remember that night. I remember that night, and I pulled it out because I wanted to make my brain work, and I loved it. It was awesome. So, I don't know. I mean, I could tell you all the different yarns that I've used in here so far, but I literally have a bag full of bits and pieces to use, and I'm just going to continue working on this until I've done my repeats. Also, oh my goodness, everybody, I never thought I would be able to do this with this pattern, but I have memorized this little brioche repeat, and I'm so proud of myself, like, so proud. Talk about making your brain work. I know a lot of people don't have problems with memorizing brioche patterns, but like, I don't do it enough to really be able to confidently do it without a pattern. And so I have memorized it. I know how to check and make sure I've done enough rows, and I can make it work, and now I can just play and have fun, and then I know what I need to count to make sure I've got like 20 of them, and it's just awesome. I love it. It's a good place to be. So currently I am still using my Spring Fling colorway, or color, and I'm using this other color, which is, because I want to fade a little bit lighter now, Ginger Twist yarns. I think that's it. Yes. It's the shop in Edinburgh. Her own yarn. This is it's the sock base, but it's got silk in it, and it's very nice and very luscious, and I love it. But yeah, so these are the two colors that are currently going together. I have lots and lots and lots of bits and pieces to play around with. This is where I started last night. I got a lot done, memorized the pattern, no big deal. No big deal. So I'm gonna have fun continuing to play around, and just enjoy myself. And part of me, so one thing, I have talked about this before, but with projects like this that require a lot of, like, not necessarily color planning, but like you have a lot of colors involved, and you do have to, like, you have a plan of what you want it to look like. I have a tendency to get very overwhelmed with stuff like that. I love them so much, like they make me so happy, but I do get overwhelmed because I'm like, I have all these colors that I want to use, and I want to make sure they go in the right spot, and I don't know if I'm going to do that correctly. So I really, like, this is another project to just be like, it's okay, take a step back, the colors will end up being perfect wherever they end up. And we have this section as an example of that. It just happened, and it is the happiest section so far. And yeah, I'm just really excited. Like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of brioche recently. I don't have a problem with it or anything, but it's just whatever. I don't know. I think I've only knit one of Leslie Ann Robinson's patterns before. So, who knows, maybe this will start a love of literally all of her brioche shawls. I have several of her patterns that I want to knit. It's just that I've never gotten around to it, but this might start my love. I might do another one after this, but we will see. Don't know where I'm gonna go next color-wise. I really love the Spring Fling. So I've been doing that for a while, but still it's pretty narrow, so I don't know. I think I'm about halfway with my repeats before I move on to the next thing that's not brioche. So I'm excited. I think one of the things that is daunting to me about this particular project is that I have fuzz in my mouth. That's not daunting. That's easily fixable. So with Stephen West stuff, like when you play with color and when you put colors together, you, depending on what it is, you aren't really fading through the whole project. You aren't marling through the whole project. You're not starting and then you're moving through the whole color thing in one go. You got different pieces. You got like the Marled Magic shawl. Like that's just a bunch of different patchwork pieces. His like Penguono is not a you move from here to here and then you're done. You have a lot of different bits and pieces that you put together, and together it makes a wonderful, beautiful, wonderful, beautiful color scheme. With this shawl, you start with one thing and you fade continuously until the very end. And because I have the goal of copying what Leslie Ann did, which was to start with, or basically have what the sky looked like when Harvey was happening. So you have like the really bright, happy yellows, oranges, pinks, and then it fades into more blues and darks and stormies and ends with like a dark black or something like that. That is my goal. And part of me is like, well, what if I start fading too early and I just don't know, and I really probably just need to like look at the schematic and kind of plan it out in my head and do some coloring probably. Because there are like stitch sections that I can probably divide up. That's probably what I need to do. That would be the smart thing to do. So yes, this is my new favorite thing, to use my knitting brain. It's quite fun. I love it a lot. We'll see where I get to next week. Who knows? Who knows? So my last project that I've worked pretty much non-stop on, and you'll be able to tell that I've been working non-stop on it because last week I literally had like that much ribbing to show you. And now I have, let's see, we want to show you the front. I have divided for my sleeves. You know, NBD. Just knitting a sweater in a couple days. Easy peasy. This is the Spring Court test knit for Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarns. She was inspired by Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I love so much. Can we even, like, how beautiful is that? So my main body color is Doe-Eyed from Tristan, Dragon Horde Yarns. My green is Space Ash from Life in the Long Grass, and then my white is actually leftover from my Free Your Fade, and it is Alchemy from Dye for Knitting, which is a local dyer in Tulsa. Which, if you are unaware, I was born in Oklahoma, so if you're like, why does she keep mentioning that this person is from Tulsa? It's because I'm from Oklahoma, and that's why it's special. Fun fact. But yeah, I have divided for my sleeves. I am loving this so far. It's a crop sweater. I am flying on the body. Like, I think I've already got an inch on the body. There's a little bit of color work on the bottom, and then maybe a little bit on the sleeves, but I'm so excited. Like, if I could knit this sweater in a week, that would be pretty incredible. I, obviously, now, no, but I can't knit it in a week because I showed it to you last week. Whatever. It's okay. A short amount of time. Anyway, that is the point. I am just really loving this. I love how these colors play together. It's really giving the spring vibes for sure. I had a lot of fun working on this. I also did all this color work two-handed, except for the times where I had 3 colors going. And I still did that two-handed because I don't have 3 hands. you know, as you do. So, very exciting. We'll see. I would like to get this done this week. I feel like that is very possible, depending on what all I want to work on. But I think this is going pretty well. So, fun times, fun times. So that is all the knitting that I have for you guys this week. I have a lot of knitting ideas bouncing around in my head in regards to like things I want to finish, things I want to cast on, how do I use my stash, just all that stuff. I think one thing that, I don't know why, also my hair is a total mess right now. Sorry. I don't know what it is or why this is. I'm not complaining. But for some reason, staying at home has really like kicked my brain into hyperdrive of like using my stash. So like I was kind of doing this anyway, but now even more so when I see anything that I want to make, it's like, I have yarn for that. I can make something work. Can I hold my yarn double? I want to use my stash. And for some reason, it's just like stash, 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 which of course still want to support indie dyers and stuff like that. I have gotten some yarn. I'm excited about it. I'll get to show it to you guys next week, which is super exciting. My mom and I have gotten some yarn for some projects from some very fun indie dyers. But yes, like there's just something, or maybe it's just like the projects that I already have planned and it's like, okay, I'm good. I don't need any more projects. I have all this yarn. I've got all these project plans. Literally everything's grouped together. It's already in a project bag. I just need my needles. The pattern's already there. I just gotta cast on. And so that's been really nice. It's almost kind of like, okay, I have my to be read list, my TBR, I have my queue of my patterns, I've got my queue of my projects that I want to do. They're literally all ready to go. I don't have to do anything except just find the needles, which based off of the stuff that I've been finishing, I have been doing a good job of getting stuff off the needles, using them for other things. If I really want to cast it on right then, I can go find another pair that's not a Chow Goo pair, so the tips are not as pointy, but that's okay. It'll be fine. We work with what we have, and that's totally awesome. But yeah, there's just a lot of, I don't know, I'm very inspired to shop my stash and shop my whips, or future whips, I guess, and make all that work and have that be a really fun thing. So I'm really excited about that. I'm not sure what will be next. I know last week I had plans to do the Bennett sister shawl. Then I also remembered I have yarn for a Girl's Best Friend by Isabel Kramer. There are several sweaters that I have yarn for that I really want to do that are good for the summer. We have yarn for projects coming from yarn shops and indie dyers, which is very exciting. And yes, I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I'll show that to you guys next week because I definitely have some packages. But yes, fun times are coming. Inspirational things. How are you guys? I know I've asked this question already, but are you knitting whips? Are you casting on things? Are you a little bit of both? Are you just kind of like not wanting to knit? Because I know some people are just, their knitting mojo is just gone, which is totally fine. Totally understandable. I don't know. I just don't know. This is such an unknown time of like, what is going on? What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Nothing. Just stay at home and constantly wash my hands. Try and flatten the curve. Buy local if I can. All that kind of stuff. It's just a crazy, crazy time. Anyway, that is pretty much all that I have for you guys this week. We've already talked about baking, we talked about books, and that was way at the beginning, so I apologize for going out of order. But things are all in uproar, like, who knows what's going on. I just wanted to talk about it, and I did. Which is very accurate to as if we were actually hanging out, so it works out very well that it was that way. Or not. I'd apologize. It wasn't the regular schedule. Anyway, like, it's okay. It's fine. We'll move on. Let me know if you have any questions that you want to ask Sam, or you want the both of us to answer, or just anything you want us to discuss, because we're going to do that next week, I think. That'll be fun. So, need to figure out a new setup. I'm not sure where we're gonna sit, but it'll be fine. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to follow me on any of my social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or Valerie, or all of the above, I also have Goodreads. Please go follow me over on there. You can see what I'm reading. Because I don't mention everything here, just because not everything is super fascinating and things are fluffy, and it's just like, well, meh. It was a fun read, but I don't necessarily want to talk about it on the podcast. So please go be my friend on Goodreads if you want to keep up with that. I hope you had a wonderful week, and you continue to have a wonderful weekend, and you continue to have a wonderful week. Crafted plans, I hope that they are successful. I hope you are staying safe and staying home and staying healthy. That you were stocked up on all your stuff. We can send our prayers and our good thoughts to those who are working in the grocery stores, the food delivery services, the hospitals, doctors' offices, all those people that are still working and still are dealing with all of that crazy. It is just insane what all is going on out there in the world. So if you can stay home, please stay home and just hunker down if you can. It does not feel good. It does not feel good. But we can flatten the curve and it'll be awesome. And hopefully things will go back to normal sooner rather than later. Don't know when that's gonna be, but that's okay. We won't think about that right now. This is a positive thought place. Yes. Happy crafting, reading, baking, snuggling your pet, all that jazz, casting new things on, whatever. Drinking a lot of coffee and tea, trying to get out and move, taking a walk, being able to work out, even if it's just walking, that still counts. Still moving your body. Very important. Getting fresh air. Excuse me. Getting vitamin D. All that stuff. If you can do that, your mental health will definitely go up if you are having problems. Because I get that. I get that. It's hard not being around people. It's hard being home all the time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me every single week. I really appreciate it. I know that there are lots of podcasts out there, and I am definitely not very organized. I'm not always good with my research. I don't always know how to pronounce everybody's names or the pattern names. I often have to look things up in the middle of recording, and that is not the best. But I appreciate that you guys put up with me and you leave comments and stuff like that. That just really makes my day. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. We are hanging in there. So, the best that we can be. Yes. Can't think of anything else to say. I'm gonna go work on some more brioche. I think that sounds like fun. So, because that has brought me a lot of joy. Hope you do something that brings you joy today, even if it's just one thing. One thing can make all the difference. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.